Thank you very much, Professor Popovsky, for that insight. You will stay with us as we stay on the topic. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that more American troops are being sent to Ukraine, reversing an earlier decision to temporarily halt supplies. Trump said the new shipments will focus on defense weapons, stressing that Ukraine must be able to protect itself as Russian strikes intensify. The move comes just days after the Pentagon halted certain deliveries, including air defense systems and precision artillery, citing low stockpile levels, but now the Pentagon says it is reassessing those stocks and will move ahead with additional deliveries. Chief Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell also emphasized that all shipments will be aligned with America First defense priorities, meaning the U.S. will balance support abroad with domestic readiness. Trump added that the administration is now looking at sending more Patriot missiles to Kyiv, a signal that Washington is ramping up defensive aid to a critical frontline ally. Here's what Trump has said.
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons. Yeah, defensive weapons primarily, but they're getting hit very, very hard. It's very sad. So many people are dying in that mess.
Now we're joined back by our guest, Professor Veselin Popovsky. Thank you, Professor, for staying with us. Now looking back at this, recently U.S. was thinking to halt the shipments to Ukraine, and now it says that it will continue. What can we make out of this situation?
Well, I will call it a zigzag policy by Trump's administration. One day he says one thing, the next day he says another thing, and he kind of wants to be on the news always. The front page of the newspaper should start with Trump's statements, and it could be the opposite statement from yesterday, but he continues that for very, very long, and creating that kind of uncertainty always, and in a sense trying to play both sides. In one day he's supporting Russia, the other day he's supporting Ukraine. Basically, the signal is that he would like to remain between and to be seen as a peacemaker. But if we look at the results and the achievements, these are very, very little. Well, obviously a good news that Patriots and air defense system will be delivered compared to the previous announcement that these are too costly and the United States needs them, and they halted the delivery before. So on one hand, it's a good news, but also it's part of this constant uncertainty. What next, we don't know, and nobody knows. And even Donald Trump doesn't know what next. And for that matter, generally, the policy of Donald Trump to Russia, Ukraine has been devastating. Imagine if Kamala Harris was a president, and over the last 6 months, Ukraine will be strongly supported and Russia will be sanctioned again and again. That will be a very, very different equalization. So again, the Donald Trump approach here doesn't bring much, and he simply wants to be in the media every day, but that means more and more casualties, including civilian casualties, in Ukraine daily or weekly. Thank you.
And Professor, how might the delivery of additional defensive weapons, including potentially Patriot missiles, change this balance on the ground in Ukraine? And also maybe, is the ceasefire coming closer by U.S. Aiding continuously, or is it going farther?
Yes, Ukraine needs military support, definitely. And not only Patriot system, but many other weapons. So yes, if there is a sufficient delivery of munitions and weapons and air defense system and everything else for Ukraine, that means that the options of Russia to continue the war will be more and more limited, which means that at some point Russia has to accept the ceasefire. But at the moment, as I said previously, Russia is emboldened by Donald Trump's zigzag policy, and they can continue fighting, having such impotent, incompetent administration in Washington, D.C., Russians can continue to fight. So again, the hopes are that U.S. administration, but also the rest of the world, Europeans and Canadians and Japanese and many countries support Ukraine. And if the rest of the world support Ukraine strongly, that will bring the peace closer.